Hi and welcome to Yum Paleo. Today we're going to be doing a really delicious and simple seafood dish. So what we're making is a shrimp stir fry. So what we're going to start off with is about a pound of shrimp, and they have been shelled and tailed, so that way you can just eat all of it rather than having to pull little bits out of it. I've got half of a fresh pineapple which I have chopped and diced. I've got about half to 2/3 of a pawpaw. Alternatively, you can use mango, but today I was going to use pawpaw just for something a little bit different. I've got 3 courgettes. I've got a couple of lemons that I'm going to use, 3 carrots, some fresh coriander, a little bit of lemongrass, 2 peppers. Today I'm using yellow ones, but you could feel free to use orange ones or red. I'm just really using them for the colour that's going to bring out, so that's just my preference. And I'm going to use a couple of heads of broccoli, as well as add a little bit of pepper and a little bit of chilli as well. So anyway, what we're going to do to get started is I've got 3 cloves of garlic here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop that really finely rather than crush it, and we're going to pop it in the pan and we're going to make a start on getting a few of these things in. So let's get started. So I'm just going to chop this garlic up. Now the preference here is to use fresh garlic because you just get really lovely flavour, but if you don't, it's okay if you use crushed as well. I guess for convenience for a lot of people and saving on wastage, you can keep your jars of crushed garlic in the fridge. But anyway, my preference is where possible, we'll use fresh. And so that's what we're doing here today. So just run the knife through that a few times just to get that chopped up. Okay, and what we're going to do is just throw that in there. And I'm just going to throw a little bit of oil on top of that. Now, while we're there, because our carrots are a root vegetable and they're going to take kind of the longest to cook out of everything, I'm just going to quickly get those peeled. Now, generally I'd prefer not to peel them, but it's just the time of the year here in New Zealand. Carrots are sort of nearing the end of their season, and so what's happening here is that the skins on the carrots are getting a wee bit tough. So that's why I'm peeling them. Under normal circumstances, if the carrots were more in season, because we're just coming towards the end of a New Zealand winter, if they were more in season, I would just simply scrub them and chop them. And we're just going to do them into fairly fine rings. Okay, so now we've got the temperature up on that a little bit. Just going to move that about, ease that temperature up, and once we get that up a wee bit, we're going to get our shrimp in. Juicer for my lemon. So what we're going to have here with the pineapple and with the pawpaw is just a really fresh stir fry, and it's just going to be really a little bit fruity and, yeah, just like I say, very, very fresh and delicious. So going to pop those in now. Smells fantastic already. And I'm just going to throw in that pineapple on top of it, just for a little bit more juice. And we're going to start on chopping up some of our peppers. Throw in those carrots as well. Want to get that lid on, and we just really want to get that steaming to help soften some of those vegetables. It really doesn't take an awful lot of cooking with a stir fry like this. So the key is just to do it fast and fresh. Before we juice those, just make sure that you hook any seeds that you see out of them. Right, and what we're going to do, give this a quick stir. Now I'm out of fresh lemongrass, so I'm just going to use some lemongrass paste, and I'm going to put in a couple of teaspoons of this. Lemongrass is something that's used in a lot of Asian cooking, and it just keeps things really, really fresh looking. So while we've got that lid open, we're going to juice those lemons straight in. We haven't got a lot of green going on in here yet, but that's happening in a moment. And we're just going to bring that temperature up a bit more. And really starting to smell the lemon in that. Fantastic. And from here we're going to move on to the broccoli. So the pieces of broccoli, florets sort of about that size, about this size here. That's kind of what we're aiming for, so it doesn't have to be chopped up too small. But you're going to notice with 2 heads of broccoli in here, you're going to get quite a generous amount, which is going to be fantastic. That's the first one. Bring that temperature up a wee bit more. Excuse me. Second one goes straight in. I'm just going to rinse that board down a wee bit. And we're going to move on to the courgettes. While we've got the lid off this time for the courgettes, just going to give this all a bit of a stir, and this is really starting to come up lovely and green, and you can see from steaming that this broccoli is going a really beautiful sort of vivid green colour. which is fantastic to see. That's what we want. Just going to throw a few chili flakes in while we're there, just to liven it up a wee bit. Don't go overboard if you have a sensitive tongue or a sensitive stomach. So, I'm going to grab some fresh coriander now. It's about the right time to put it in. And just a small handful. Fantastic. I'm just going to ease the stalks off it there. And just sort of scrunch it into a bit of a ball that makes it easier to chop. I'm just going to run the knife through it like that. Let's pull that stalk out. So that's about the right amount there. Now the next thing on the list is the pawpaw, so I'm just going to push that pawpaw onto there and we're just going to chop it into chunks. So there we go. So there we have it. It's just a really colourful and vibrant stir fry. Okay, so we're just going to put the lid back on and we're going to let that go for about 5 to 7 minutes just to get those vegetables looking right. So we're going to come back to that and then we'll be ready to plate up. So I'll see you back here in about 4 to 5 minutes and we'll see how things are starting to look. See you then. Okay, so it's been 4 to 5 minutes now and we're just going to check over this, and this is looking about right. Actually, everything's nice and ready, so I'm just going to serve some up and you'll get to have a wee look. Grab some of those juices as well. So there you have it. A yummy shrimp stir fry. Delicious, fresh and fruity, fast, totally delicious. So really looking forward to having this. It smells amazing. So anyway, hope you enjoy that and we'll see you next time for our next delicious paleo recipe. See you then.